Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Evan and this is Sense or Sense. And today I want to make some sense of some of the new regulations that have been put in place by the federal government for specifically the Roth 401k. And this is something that's really important, and it also applies to the Roth IRA in certain categories as well. We're going to dive into an article that I found on the Wall Street Journal that I wanted to discuss a little bit more. I'm going to give you my take on 20 plus years of being in the industry as far as what I think of it and how this is going to be beneficial to you towards the end of the video. So let's go ahead and dive right in here. So the article is entitled Changes in Retirement Savings Rules to Know Before Year's End. New rules promote Roth treatment of workers' investments and ease some required minimum distribution burdens, among other things. RMDs are the short for required minimum distributions. So it says investors might be forgiven for not being aware of all the previous provisions Congress put into the landmark retirement law it passed more than a year and a half ago, but the unknown could prove costly to them. The provisions, some of which have yet to kick in, cover everything from yearly mandated withdrawals known as required minimum distributions, or RMDs, the type of accounts that can be used for certain retirement plan contributions. Lots of rules have changed. If you happen to be affected by one of them, it could be a significant impact on your finances, said Ed Slott from Ed Slott and Company. Here are some of the rules. This is the important part, what I want to get into. No more required minimum distributions from Roth 401k plans. Contributions to Roth 401k plans are made after tax, meaning that income tax on each contribution is paid before the funds go into the plan, as is the case with the Roth IRA, but not with a traditional 401k. So when you put money into your Roth 401k, it goes in after tax. You pay taxes on it through your employer before it goes in. And now what they're doing is they're saying that you no longer have to take any required minimum distributions from this account. So it's going to align just like it would with a Roth IRA as well, which is great because this is one of the primary sources to save for retirement for everybody out there. And most big employers, defined as 250 or more employees for that employer, have a Roth option at this point. It says until this year, RMDs had to be taken from these plans despite their after-tax treatment. Now RMDs are no longer required from Roth 401ks, bringing them in line with the rules of the Roth IRAs. This is a huge deal. It means that when you get to the required minimum age in your 70s, when you have to start taking money out of these accounts, you don't have to do so with a Roth 401k. You don't have to do so with a Roth IRA. With a traditional IRA, the government wants their money. They want their taxes. They're going to force you to start taking that money out of those accounts at a certain age. That age, depends on the current year when you were born, but in your early 70s. And once those early 70s hit, you're going to have to start taking money out. And if you have a traditional 401k or a traditional IRA, you're going to pay taxes on that money. With a Roth, you're not going to pay taxes. You already paid the taxes ahead of time. But now you don't have to take those distributions from a Roth 401k either, which is great. You can let it continue to grow if you want to. Here's the next provision. 401k catch-up contributions for higher earners must go into Roth accounts. Beginning in 2026, participants in 401k plans who are age 50 and older and whose annual income exceeds $145,000 will have to make their catch-up contributions on a Roth basis. So basically what this means is if you're making over $145,000 a year, you can no longer contribute the extra money that you can once you turn 50 to a traditional 401k. You're going to be forced to put it into a Roth 401k. I think this is actually a good thing, but some would argue that this is limiting what you can do. But it is going to allow you to grow money tax-free instead of tax-deferred, and there's a big difference. And I think if you can contribute more in your later career towards tax-free, it's going to benefit you greatly, and this is going to kind of push you in that direction. The next provision is certain spousal beneficiaries of IRAs get more potential tax-deferred growth. A provision that takes effect this year allows an older spouse who is a beneficiary of an IRA owned by a younger spouse who dies to be treated as if he or she were the age of the deceased spouse. As a result, required minimum distributions based on the age of the beneficiary don't have to be taken until the deceased spouse would have been 73. So this is great. It's going to allow you to essentially push off having to take those required minimum distributions. Therefore, you're not going to have to pay as much tax now. You might be able to push it off many, many years. So that gets a little bit more complex. That's more of an advanced planning technique. But I want to get on to the next topic here, which is reduced penalties for missed required minimum distributions. Starting in 2023, the penalty for missed RMDs was reduced to 25% of the missed amount from 50%. It can be cut even lower to 10% if corrected in a timely manner within 2 years from the end of the year for which the RMD should have been taken. So it used to be that if you didn't take those required minimum distributions at those ages in the low 70s, that the IRS would hit you with a 50% penalty on what you should have taken out. They want their taxes, and if you're not going to pay them their taxes, they're going to hit you with a huge penalty also. And now they've reduced that amount from a 50% penalty down to a 25% penalty, and it can even be cut lower to 10 if you're correcting it within 2 calendar years, tax years of when you forgot to take the required minimum distribution. So this is pretty important. It keeps you from being stuck in a big hole with a required minimum distribution if you miss it. Going on, there are a bunch of other smaller things to be concerned about. The last big thing that the article mentioned is the employer matches can be a Roth. Previously, employer matching contributions to a 401k were made on a pre-tax basis. Since last year, if an employer offers this option, an employee can elect to have it make Roth after-tax contributions. Although the employee must pay the income tax on whatever is contributed, he or she would then get the benefits of the Roth, like tax-free earnings in the account. So you can actually this is really important, you can actually tell your employer that you no longer want to make contributions to a tax-deferred traditional 401k. You can tell them that you want all of their matching contributions that they give you when you put money into it to also be Roth matching contributions. And in my opinion, if you're a younger person and you're in a lower tax bracket, this is an absolute gold mine for you. Being able to put money in after tax, so you pay the tax now, and being able to never have to pay tax on that money again is absolutely critical to being able to have a great retirement benefit in the future. So let's understand this again. You tell your employer that you want your matching contributions that they're going to give you when you put money into your 401k. Employers typically will match 3, 4, 5, 6, 7%. You want that matched amount to go to a Roth 401k instead of a traditional 401k. You'll have to pay the taxes on what they put in there as the match, but then that money is going to grow tax-free. That's right, you heard that right, tax-free for the remainder of your life. And there's not going to be any required minimum distributions. So here's your big takeaway from this video. You want to take advantage of these Roth 401ks. You want to take advantage of the fact that they're no longer going to require you to take money out at a certain age in your 70s. And you want to be able to tell your employer, go in there right now and tell them that you want to have their matched money go towards a Roth contribution. You'll have to pay the taxes, but then keep in mind, every single year you're going to put in 5-6% of your income. They're going to match 5 or 6%. So now you're getting 10-12% of your overall income, and that money is going to be taxed now, and it's going to grow for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years and turn it into massive amounts of money potentially, and you're never going to have to pay the taxes again. That's the big takeaway. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I want to bring you more videos like this in the near future. And thank you for tuning in. If you like this, hit the like button. Please leave a comment below, hit the notification bell, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks again.